Ronnie Domingo. Doc? So, opening statement from the Secretary.
Sige po. Magandang umaga po sa atin lahat. Good morning.
Good morning.
Walang attention na nakasulat agad. Okay, we have here Undersecretary Eric Domingo and officer in charge of the Food and Drug Administration that has responsibility with processed products out of meat, whichever meat is that, pork, beef, whatever. And of course, si Rooney ay yung chief veterinarian ng Pilipinas, reporting to IE the results or obtaining conditions dito sa yung sakit na ating monitor. Of course, with us here is Reldrin Morales, who is in charge, Executive Director of National Meat Inspection Service. So kasama ni Ronnie, ito naman yung mga karne ay sila yung oversight. So para mayroon weight yung ating mas lalo ngayon kasi it's about processed products and of course yung monitoring rin natin itong sakit na ito. I would give the floor first to the Undersecretary of Health and FDA Administrator Eric Domingo to give his statement, followed by the statement of Ronnie Domingo having conducted, his bureau conducting all the laboratory test results. Kami ni Reldrin will come in as the need arises. Okay, Yusek.
Magandang umaga po, Secretary. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. And, well, I'm really here today to reassure everybody and, of course, all of the agencies that DOH and FDA support the Department of Agriculture and its fight against African swine fever. Of course, sa DOH po, tsaka FDA, human health is our main responsibility. And just to remind everybody and assure everybody, African swine fever does not affect humans and it has no hazard, it poses no hazard to human health. But of course, food safety and the security of our food supply in the country is of utmost importance also to the Department of Health. As such, we will follow. We had a meeting last Friday, Secretary Dar, last Thursday, bago po pala mag-holiday, Secretary Dar convened, the Wednesday, the Task Force for Asian African Swine Fever. And as such, the DOH and FDA will follow the recommendations of the Department of Agriculture when it comes to the importation of pork products into the country and of course the circulation of processed meat. Processed meat po kasi under FDA jurisdiction siya. We will also work with the Department of Agriculture closely to regulate processed pork products in the Philippines. Yun pong ating isang at para paalala ko lang po sa kanila, if not to preempt naman sa announcement of DA, the McKinney Food Corporation has voluntarily recalled all their pork-based products since October 24. And sinabihan na po ang FDA and I've been working with them. We have been working with them on the recall plan. And of course, yung seizure, pagkuha ng lahat ng pork products nila. And of course, we will be cooperating with BAI and MIS if there's any further investigation to be done. As of October 31, the FDA has infected the factories of 63 processed meat manufacturing establishments. There are 178 na merong license to operate na processed meat manufacturers natin sa Pilipinas. Inuna namin yung 63 na pinakamalalaki, kasi risk-based tayo. Hindi naman namin kaya in 2 days lahat. Pero yung 63 na pinakamalalaki all over the country, sila yung una natin na pinuntahan. And we found them to be compliant with regulatory standards, including NMIS certificates at saka yung process ng kanilang pag-process ng food. And we will continue to monitor them in tandem with NMIS. So we're going to partner with NMIS The FDA will also authorize NMIS inspectors to check on processed meat products kasi ngayon nakatian po namin pag hilaw na karne sa kanila pag-processed sa FDA. Kaya lang kulang naman po talaga ang inspector ng FDA. So we will be giving our NMIS counterparts the authority to also look into processed meat products both in storage and in the factories. We'll also work with the Bureau of Customs and the DOH Bureau of Quarantine to check that the importation of processed meat products from ASF-affected countries, whether for commercial use or yung hina-hand carry nila, mababantayan din natin at ma-regulate. And of course, as this crisis continues, we will be working very, very closely with the Department of Agriculture. Thank you.
Morning. I'll be reading bulletin number 13 for the Secretary. Pork products found ASF positive. Hog raisers, traders urged not to sell or trade sick pigs. Continued efforts to manage, control, and contain the spread of African swine fever disease have led to elevated measures, including heightened quarantine procedures from the national and local levels. A case in point was the recent apprehension of a traveler from Batangas who brought a package of branded and unbranded processed pork products, which were confiscated by a composite veterinary and quarantine team at Calapan Port on October 6, 2019. The seized items, bought from local markets in Luzon, tested positive for ASF viral DNA. On October 24, 2019, the DA's National Meat Inspection Service collected samples from the concerned meat processing plant where the seized branded products came from. Samples were collected from fresh frozen meat imported from Canada, USA, and France. These were tested negative for ASF. However, the other set of samples of longanisa and picnic hot dog tested positive for ASF. Based on tests conducted by the DA Regional Animal Disease Diagnostic Laboratory in Central Luzon on October 25, 2019. Thereafter, the DA's Bureau of Animal Industry Veterinary Laboratory Division conducted 2 validation tests as requested by the manufacturer. Again, the same products, skinless longanisa and picnic hot dog, tested positive for ASF viral DNA. With these developments, the DA and the Department of Health, through the Food and Drug Administration, have agreed to disclose jointly said test results and name the manufacturer, which is McKinney Food Corporation. This is to end consumers' speculations that may have untoward effect on all other processed pork products to the detriment of other meat processors. The DA, however, commends the management of McKinney for recalling their products from the market even before the laboratory tests were concluded. On the 2 cargo containers from China that were apprehended 2 weeks ago at the Port of Manila, the pork products were tested positive for ASF by the BAI laboratory. In all, the DA through the BAI and NMIS will continue to work closely with the DOH FDA to sustain the monitoring of all meat products and ensure that all food sold in the country are safe for human consumption. While ASF is not a human health concern, our Food Safety Act of 2013 mandates that meat from deceased animals must not be used for food or for manufacturing food products for human consumption. It is a crime to sell, trade, and or slaughter sick or dead pigs for meat or for processed pork products. Violators face imprisonment from 6 to 12 years or fine of 100,000 to 1 million or both. In addition, the Department of Agriculture has previously issued guidelines to effectively manage, control, and contain ASF, requiring all pigs, sick or not, within the 1 kilometer ASF declared zone be surrendered to the local government unit and BAI for culling, which is called for under the globally accepted 1710 protocol. The DA reiterates its call to all concerned. Number 1, for small backyard raisers, report to your city, municipal, or provincial veterinarian any signs of disease or deaths of pigs in their area. Refrain from swill feeding, particularly those from airlines, hotels, and restaurants. Do not slaughter sick or dead pigs and sell them into traders. Number 2, for traders, not to buy and slaughter sick pigs. Any backyard or illegal slaughtering or use of meat from infected pigs will contribute to the spread of the disease and will only result to further deaths and losses to the 260 billion swine industry that supports millions of Filipinos. For the public, pork is safe to eat. When buying pork in the market or meat shops, always look for the seal and certificate issued by the DA National Meat Inspection Service. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ronnie. Sir, we're open for questions. Yeah. Ladies, gentlemen, kindly identify yourself. Carl.
Good morning po, I'm Caroline Bokey from CNN Philippines. With regards to Migueli's skinless longganisa and picnic hotdog, na-determine po ba if saan po yung source ng karne nila? Was it locally sourced or imported? And if imported, from which country po?
The DA and the Department of Health is organizing a composite team to do further investigations related to this issue. Yeah, the source of meat, we don't know yet. That will be part of the other investigation that we will conduct.
Good morning po, Mads Miraflor, Manila Bulletin. Just regarding the pork shipments from China, did we already file a lawsuit or did we penalize already the traders in charge of bringing those pork shipments from China to the Philippines?
Ronnie, would you? Yes. Nag-file na ba tayo ng kaso?
We have referred the matter to the Bureau of Customs and we will get the update from the Bureau of Customs.
Thank you. Pao?
Sir, Marie Jimen, Philippine Star. Sir, regarding just going back with McKinney, will there be cases that will be filed given the that they tested positive for their processed meat products? What will be the next step of DA apart from the composite investigation that will be done?
Yeah, well, the part of the FDA, we're going to check. Kasi when we went to the factory, parang kompleto naman sila ng documents. No? Pero obviously, there's something wrong kasi nga may ASF infected meat that they were used. So, after the investigation, depending on the findings, if we see some wrongdoing, then they will have an administrative case with the FDA, including possible revocation, of course, of their license to operate. Meron kasi kung pakita natin na meron talaga silang pagkukulang.
Sa meat inspection naman, there is a meat inspection code. At ito yung sinabi na ni Rooney na it's a crime to sell, trade, and or slaughter sick or dead pigs for meat or for processed pork products. Violators will face imprisonment from 6 to 12 years or fine of 100,000 pesos to 1 million or both. So, yun po ang hinaharap.
What will be the timeline on the investigation for McKinney, in particular?
Right after this, our team should be meeting. So they already planned schedule the plan for the inspection.
Can we expect within the month a final decision on what would happen to the company?
We'll give you updates from time to time.
Okay.
Next,
Next, Tina and then Carl. Oh, Tina first.
Sir, clarify ko lang po. Yung sa McKinney products na testing, bale, yung meat na nakuha from the passenger that was tested, and then you got another sample from the plant, and then that tested negative.
Tapos may negative yung imported but positive yung skinless longganisa and the picnic hotdog. And then, nag-test po ulit yung Megani. Tama po ba? Po.
Tama.
Opo. Tapos yung picnic hotdogs and the skinless longganisa, yun pa po yung itetest nyo kung saan galing, i-investigahan nyo kung saan galing yung meat.
Correct.
Tama po.
Sorry.
Sir, in light of these events po, will the government finally establish the quarantine first policy?
Quarantine. Come again. First border.
Yes, during our last meeting last Wednesday, lahat po ng concerned agencies ay talagang very cooperative, and we will pursue where possible now the first border inspection, but it will entail also facilities to be constructed in due time. But the customs have been very forthcoming in saying yes by being our lead inspection group at the seaports and airports, will be there partnering with them. Now, let me highlight one point. Di ba nasabi ni Rooney na yung jet ending, nasabi mo ba? Yeah, yung galing China na sibat natin ay positive ASF also. Meaning, ito talaga ang pinaka-problema natin. Introduce po itong ASF, meat and pork products, yung nakumpiska natin, at nagka-positive. So, ito na yung, this confirms our earlier hypothesis na talagang galing sa ibang bansa.
Thank you, sir. Ray, followed by Bad.
Ray Milaya po, UNTV. Secretary, na-lift na raw po ng Cavite yung import ban nila sa processed meat. Ano po masasabi nyo?
We don't know the details.
Na-lift na po yung ban ng Cavite. Nag-break away from 65 provinces. Sila daw po yung kauna-unahan na nag-lift ng ban.
That will be a very good development, pero wala pa po tayong details on the information. We'll check after the
Isa na lang po, may mga nagsasabi po kasi na mas gusto daw na mga meat processor na ang DA ang mag-handle ng mga processed meat like sa pork. Sa side po ba ng FDA, kaya po ba natin talaga na i-monitor din or mas favorable na ibalik po ulit sa DA yung processed meat?
Nasa ano na po kasi, nasa batas na po talaga yun, hindi na natin maibabalik. No? So, knowing of course the limitations of FDA, kasi FDA po, halimbawa yung mga dilata talaga, na niluto naman yan ng more than 73 degrees for 30 minutes, mga low risk ito. So, hindi naman talaga, ayaw naman nating maantala ang kalakalan sa buong Pilipinas na mga produkto, lalo na kung alam na safe. Pero, since this is something new for the FDA, kasi we usually test really for pathogens that affect human health. No? Magaling kami sa Staphylococcus, E. coli, cholera, salmonella. No? Pero ito po kasi ASF, talagang ang capability nito nasa DA. That's why we will be partnering with them, with NMIS. Not necessarily naman kailangan ibalik yung poder, kung hindi working together so that we can make sure that all things are regulated and monitored.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mads, followed by EJ.
Pag-i-off lang yung isang.
Sige lang, man. Sige naman.
Huwag yung pin dalawa, isa lang pindot.
Ayun, sir, wala ka.
Saka nag-session.
Sorry.
Sir, just to follow up on my earlier question, since we already established that the illegal transport of meat and processed pork products is one of the reasons why ASF continue to spread in the country, how soon can we actually file an actual case against these traders, since this could send a positive signal to the industry that we're actually having actions against this trader?
Madam, yung initial response po natin dyan, pinaigting po natin yung ating mga checkpoints sa quarantine operations. Kaya po makikita niyo sa balita, marami na po may mga nahaharang na mga biyahero na mayroong mga misdeclared products. At kung ito po ay mga livestock carriers na registered sa BAI, ay pwede po namin i-cancel yung kanilang registration as a livestock carrier. Kung yan po ay NMIS registered vehicle, ganoon din po ang gagawin po ng NMIS.
So sir, may na-cancel na tayo na mga certificate and permits upon catching those illegal traders and
Attorney Obsoma will comment on the filing of case.
Yung apprehended po na illegal importation ng pork, BOC po mag-file lang yun. Kasi smuggling case po yun. Hindi under po ng Department of Agriculture cases of smuggling.
Okay, next, EJ, followed by Alan.
Sir EJ Gomez po from Manila Times. Given that the ASF was introduced here in the Philippines, will the DA encourage the meat processors to purchase local certified ASF-free pork instead of importing, which actually increases the scare of the presence of the ASF here in the country?
The data I believe we have is that the Pumpy Group only buys 5% yung requirement nila from local. So karamihan ng requirement nila ay imported from non-ASF affected countries. Actually, nag-usap na kami, namagitan po kami with DTI Secretary. That was 3 weeks ago. Na papayag naman ang Pumpy basta may maraming AAAs na slaughterhouses kasi that will really determine kung mas mataas pa yung level ng mga food safety implementation of measures. So, ganun po.
Thank you, sir. Alan?
Secretary or si Director Ronnie Domingo, doon mo ba sa mga longganisa, lahat po ba nung nag-positive ng ASF, yung skinless at saka yung picnic hotdog, ito po ba na pull out na lahat to sa market? At papaano yung mayroong nakatabi sa mga bahay nila, ano po ba ang pwede nilang gawin sa ngayon?
Yes. Well, the McKinney recalled all pork products sila, all pork-based products. So, hindi lang si longganisa, si hotdog, lahat, ito sino lahat ng pork-based products. Nakatanggal na off the market and have been removed from the shelves. Yun lang lagi namin pinapaalala lang. Tsaka para hindi naman nervous yung mga kababayan namin. Kung naman in the past nakakain sila, nakaluto sila nito, then they shouldn't be afraid naman. Kasi wala naman hazard sa kanila. Ang ginagawa ng FDA, pag ganito may recall and meron silang nabili, then they can return it to the dealer. And the dealer will have to, of course, submit it to yung manufacturer and distributor for proper disposal.
So, ibabalik mo yung pera nila?
Ibabalik dapat yung pera nila. Oo. Kasi recalled talaga ito. These are recalled products and they are refunded for it.
Thank you. Follow-up?
One follow-up. Na-trace ba hindi ko lang alam kung naitanong nito, kung locally sourced ba yung ginamit dun sa skinless at saka dun sa hotdog na positive sa ASF?
Yung una po nating trace back na ginawa, kung saan nanggaling yung mga produkto na naharang sa Calapan Mindoro. So nakita na natin na iba nanggaling sa home-made products sa Luzon at yung isa naman ay isang branded group of products na galing sa McKinney Corporation. Hanggang doon pa lang po yung investigation natin. Kung saan po kinuha ng McKinney yung kanyang raw materials, yun po yung susunod na parte po ng ating field investigation.
Thank you, Naman. Sige, ikaw. Tapos sunod si Shaila. the freeway.
of Raptor.
Bakit takot sa'yo?
Sir, how would you describe the relationship of the DA with the LGU? In particular po sa, halimbawa, yung mga nangyari sa Quezon City where wala pang go signal yung DA tapos nakal na yung mga pigs, or yung halimbawa sa Cebu na they're banning the imports of meat products there from Luzon.
Klaro lang natin, wala naman hidwaan eh. We were just imploring yung mga guidelines, quarantine measures, preventive quarantine, and food safety measures. Dito sa Quezon City, ang ating ground zero commander dito from DA is si Ronnie Domingo. So Metro Manila, siya yung ground zero commander. At he can characterize yung interaction and partnership with the Quezon City. Cebu, nabisita ko na si Governor Gwen. At sabi naman nila ay temporary yung ban nila. So naintindihan natin yung Visayas and Mindanao are nasa green zones, at si Relapin will highlight ano yung quarantine zoning from here on. Okay. So
Actually, ito po ay alam na ng ating mga provincial veterinarians all over the country. May liga po kasi sila. These are called the Provincial City Municipal League of Veterinarians in the Philippines. So na-consult po natin and positive yung kanilang approach. So ngayon po, within this week, i-aayos po na, ipa-finalize po natin yung arrangement, yung consultation, i-consolidate natin, and we will update you accordingly.
Thank you. Shaila, followed by Tina.
Shaila Francisco from TV5. My question is for the DOH. Sir, kanina sabi nyo, 63 out of 178 na na-inspect. May I ask lang po the nature of yung inspection or testing na ginagawa nyo? And given the development with McKinney, are we gonna do more random tests in plants?
So it wasn't testing. What they do is our regulatory officers go to the factory. They look at yung cleanliness at saka yung process nila, And then they also look at all of the documentation, mga NMIS certificates nila, yung required dun sa paggamit nila ng raw materials. And so far, yung 63 naman na napuntahan natin have all passed. And we hope to complete all of them by, kasi may mga iba dyan nagsara na yung maliliit siguro. So yung malalaki muna. And we hope by this week to check all of them and do regular checks. But this time, hindi na lang FDA lang kasama na namin yung NMIS para they can help us get samples and then we can get samples together and then they can test it. Pero ang FDA wala kasing testing for ASF.
Thank you. Tina?
Sir, Secretary Dar, have there been new cases of ASF reported in the last few days?
Tawilas, Rooney, or Real Dream, wala pa nakarating sa akin.
May mga reported mortalities po tayo galing po sa iba't ibang lugar sa Luzon. Kino-confirm pa po natin kung ito po ay related din sa ASF.
Tapos sir, hindi pa rin masabi kung new cases ang mga ito. New.
Malalaman po natin yan, ma'am, kapag yung report nila sinagin nila yung kanilang field report, tapos may samples sila, tapos gano'n po natin laboratory testing. Pag nag-positive doon, consistent sa history ng problema sa clinical science at laboratory, then we can confirm it's ASF.
You can mention, Ronnie, na it is within the infected zones.
Sir, kasi nung food summit, binanggit po ng National Federation of Hog Raisers na no new cases that week. So, that's why I was asking kung nabago ba yung situation.
Yung sagot po kasi dun sa tanong na yung dynamics, baka during that time na tinanong yun, hindi pa lumilito yung mga laboratory results.
So, baka ngayon, after that. Sir, ilan na po yung nasa infected zone? Infected zone? Dun sa zoning na ilalabas, ilan po yung infected areas?
Morales.
Basically po, ang talagang tinitingnan natin dito ay yung dalawang probinsya, which is Bulacan and Pampanga.
Okay, next. Senator. Anything else? Sige, please.
Malakas naman yung boses ko. Sa FDA po.
Pero mas malakas kung
Kindly identify.
Good morning, Juan Gonzalez po, DCRH. Sa FDA or sa DOH, para lang ho malinaw sa publiko, gusto ko lang hong malaman kung saan ho nagkulang yung McKinney. Kasi may pronouncement before, bago nung pumutok pa lang itong ASF, na at a certain heat degree ay namamatay ho yung ASF virus. So, saan ho nagkamali ang McKinney? Bakit meron pa rin, despite ito yung mga process meat products na dumaan na ho sa heat? Thank you.
Kahit po kasi lutuin siya at saka magkaroon ng mamatay siya sa heat, pag nag-test tayo for ASF, positive pa rin. Meron pa rin kasing fragments yun ng DNA. No? So, mag-check. So, ang pagkukulang po nito, yung karne na ginamit, meron pong ASF. Yun po ang problema, hindi yung processing. So, nung niluto naman po yun, at saka hindi naman makaka-affect sa tao yun, walang sakit. Kaya lang, hanapan po ng fragment. So, kailangan hanapin po namin with NMIS, tsaka ng DA, kung saan nanggaling yung karne, bakit may ASF to begin with yung karne na nagamit nila.
Opo. So, palinaw lang ho. So, hindi ho namamatay sa heat yung ASF virus.
Namamatay po, pero yung fragments ng DNA nandun.
Nandun pa rin.
Patay na yung virus probably. Pero of course, ma-identify nyo rin. Para kung nasabog sa kotse, ma-identify pa rin natin. May parte ng kamay, parte ng alam natin tao yun. Pero sumabog na siya. Ganon din po yung yung pag naluto na kahit po lutuin siya, kahit po ma-process siya, kapag po tinest, kung nagkaroon po kami ASF po tabalan to begin with yung karne, makikita pa rin po yung
Okay. Para lang ho mas malinaw. Mayroon pa ho bang mga branded companies na pinagsususpensyan kayo na ganito rin ho yung case ho nila na may mga nailabas ng product sa market, yet positive siya sa ASF?
Well, as of last week nga po, nung nag-examine at tumingin tayo sa mga planta, 63 yung pinakamalalaki. Lahat po sumusunod sa mga panuntunan natin, no, sa cleanliness, sa hygiene po ng mga nung kanilang planta. At yung pong port na ginagamit nila, whether imported or local, nakita po namin na may NMIS certificate. So at this time, there's no reason for us to suspect any of these other companies. However, yun nga po, we will go around with NMIS to get samples and have them tested. Para lang po meron tayong post-marketing surveillance.
Who will file a case po just in case na may basihan para sa paano sila ang kaso?
Kapag po yung processed food, nakita natin na may problem doon sa proseso nila, then we file. Kami po ang nagagawa ng... Pero sa FDA po yun. Pero ang amin administrative para po sa pagtanggal ng license to operate or pag-suspend.
At isinasailalim na po sa ganitong proseso yung mechanism?
Sa ngayon po, sumulat na po kami sa kanila para explain nila sa amin kung ano ang nangyari, kung bakit nagkaroon ng ganoon. At of course, yung kanilang yung recall plan nila, kung paano nilang gagawin yung kanilang recall at kung paano i-dispose yung mga produkto. So, meron na po tayong naumpisahan na proseso with the McKinney.
Last na lang po, yung sulat po ba ninyo ay may time frame kung hanggang kailan sila pwedeng magpaliwan?
Alam ko po kasi nabigay siya before the break, so I think this week ang binigay natin. Immediate po kasi yun pag ganun you have to respond to us immediately, give us your recall plan, how you will dispose of it, and of course an explanation of what happened. And we're waiting for it this week.
Thank you, Director. Carl?
So, sir, just to clarify po, no, we can already establish, sir, na yung cost ng ASF is painted imported meat na maaaring napakain sa mga baboy through swill feeding.
Tama po yung aming hypothesis una, di ba? Galing yung mga food waste from hotels, restaurants, even the airlines. Yung mga food waste nila ay dinump sa Rodriguez Rizal. At may nagkolekta ng swill feeds at pinakain sa baboy, doon na umpisa. At with the smuggled items coming from China, na ang declaration nila ay tomato paste and vermicelli, ay lumabas naman na pork and pork products, at tinesting natin yun, may ASF. So that concludes that really these have been introduced by, bringing it here, smuggling it here, introducing it here.
Thank you, sir.
Diba, galing China, sinabi na namin noon pa.
Thank you. Carol?
Secretary Dar, I believe po, di ba, last September or August, may na-apprehend din po na smuggled pork products from China in Manila. And I think in one of an agriculture event, you mentioned that there's a possibility that someone from the agriculture department is helping the smugglers. Any update on this investigation, sir? And what is your current communication with the Immigration Bureau to prevent this from happening again?
Dr. Maras?
NMIS stop yun.
Yep. Dr. Maras?
Yung tungkol po dun sa incident na yon, we are still coordinating and working closely with the City of Manila. Sila po yung kasama ng NMIS na nag-grade dun sa mga lugar kung saan nakuha itong mga produkto na ito. So yun po. So actually the leader is the City Veterinary Office of Manila.
Thank you.
Pero sir, meron na po bang parang nakasuhan or tao na person of interest po, given that it's already been around 3 months?
Wala pa po as of this time, and we will provide you updates po siguro as it progress.
Thank you. Shaila?
My question is again for the DOH. Sir, how long po on hold or ban yung sale ng products na McKinney sa market, given na hindi lang naman ata limited sa pork ang mga products nila?
Well, ngayon voluntary ring recall nila all pork products. The other products, yung mga beef chicken, hindi sila all.
Okay, so mga baboy lang po. Pork products na malinaw. Anything else? Yes, please.
Sir, good morning. Victor Cabanas from GMA Online. Sir, you mentioned that right now it's on a voluntary recall basis. Any plans to do mandatory recall?
Well, yun nga, we're just waiting muna for their explanation on what happened, and then we will make a decision on kung kailangan i-revoke muna yung license nila for pork products.
Thank you, Alan. And then Carol again.
Okay. Yusek, yung pong binabanggit ko kanina, no, na ibig sabihin kahit lutuin to, may trace pa rin, may bakas pa rin ng ASF yung mga karne. Ito ho bang trace at bakas na to, makakahawa pa rin po ba to sa other pigs or
Not necessarily, no? Kasi kung talaga namang niluto na siya tapos yung merong temperature and then time na na allowed for cooking, that will make it not infectious. Siyempre yung lang natin dito, kaya maingat tayo dito ang DA, kasi siyempre yung mga tosino tsaka longganisa, these are lightly processed food. Hindi ito katulad ng mga can na naliluluto sa mataas na temperature ng matagal na oras. So pag ganito na lightly processed food, then the possibility of it being infectious is a little higher.
That's that. Yung mga ni-recall po, may parang lately lang yung ni-recall mga September I think at saka October yung ni-recall. Pero paano yung mga earlier part kaya? Paano?
October 24 yung recall nila, all products.
All products
that are still existing in the market. All pork products.
Carol?
Secretary Dar, last week po, the World Organization for Animal Health said na a quarter of world's pig population will die due to African swine fever. May official communication na po ba yung OIE sa inyo regarding this? And how will the Philippines cope just in case po na mas maraming pig population pa po natin yung mawawala?
I will answer the second part and ask Ronnie to answer the first part. Again, in the bulletin we are issuing, we are pleading, we are requesting the hog raisers to please report immediately to authorities, veterinarians in the municipality, not the city, not the province, because the disease, the ASF virus, can easily be controlled and contained. Okay. Number two, we are also pleading and requesting all the hog traders, yung nagnenegosyo, na huwag na samantalahin itong panahon na ito na bibili ng affected pigs at ito yung ibebenta sa ibang lugar. By doing so, you are spreading the disease. And no more swill feeding for the hog raisers. Itong tatlo na ito, pag nag-cooperate po lahat sama-sama sa pagsugpo ng itong ASF virus na ito, ay hindi lalala ang ating problema.
Pero sir, what's your projection po for next year when it comes to the pig industry po and population?
Yung pong sinabi madam ng OIE, estimate na po nila yan. At usually, yung nagsasalita yan, meron niyang pinagkakalingan na perspective. Kapag siya po ay nakatira sa isang continental area, isang big mass of land, posible po mangyari yun. Ang Pilipinas po, nakahiwalay po tayo sa mainland of Asia, tapos archipelago pa po tayo. So meron po tayo mga tinatawag na natural barriers. Hindi po gano'ng kabilis na umalat po yung sakit sa Pilipinas. Ano? At ito po mga virus na ito, medyo umiigsi ang kanyang survival kapag dumarating na yung summer season. So patapos na po tayo sa rainy season, papasama na po tayo, meron tayong additional help sa weather situation po natin. Tandaan po natin na tayo po isa sa mga kokonting bansa na nakapag-eradicate na ng FMD. Ang mainland Asia, may FMD pa rin po sila. Ang Pilipinas, 10 years ago pa natin na-eradicate ang FMD. At nung nag-eradication po tayo noon, isa po sa effective strategy na ginawa po natin, yung tinatawag natin na zoning. Ibig sabihin, bawat lugar may kulay siya. Yung movement ng hayop nakadepende sa kulay ng iyong zone. At kung titignan po ninyo yung ating statistics about the Cali, napakalit na problema po nito ASF sa Pilipinas. Meron po tayong 12.7 million na baboy. Ang average po na nakalpo natin ay hindi yung 80% ng population, hindi 50%, hindi 1%, it's 0.5%. So maliit na problema na po ito.
Salamat, Doc Ronnie.
Sandali, let me dagdagan ko. I was mentioning hog raisers, that's number 1. Number 2, hog traders. Number 3, yung swill feeding, no more. Number 4, yung walang puso na mga smugglers. Huwag na magpasok ng mga pork and pork products na galing sa apektadong mga countries.
Tama. Carol?
Sir, Doc Ron, last na lang po. Doc Ronnie, nabanggit niyo po ang hina yung virus kapag summer. Pwede po lang pa-explain yung science behind it.
Ang survival kasi ng virus depende sa sinasakyan niya. Kung siya ay nasa dugo, kunyari, mga isang buwan niya. Kapag yan ay nasa karne, frozen pa, mga 1 year yan. Pero pagka mag-isa lang yan, in a matter of days, patay po yan. Lalo na kung mainit yung environment.
Thank you. Last two, Tina and then Carl.
Sir, August pa po reported yung first case ng ASF sa Pilipinas. Bakit po November na, tuon pa lang tayo, maglalabas pa lang ng zoning?
Sige, parang mas may alam.
Yun po kasing zoning, it is composed of about 40 pages document. It will impact not only on commercial farms, it will not impact not only on backyard farms, it will impact on all sectors po, no? Kasama yung trading, kasama po yung market. Kaya po yung pag-develop ng zones ay medyo mabusisi po. We're working actually with experts from the local hog industry in trying to develop these zones. So yun po kasi 1710 protocol natin is in place. Yun po ay response protocol. So ngayon po, as may nakakalusot na mga kaso from one province to another, then that's the time po na we think that it's about time that we put on a zoning approach.
Sir, kailan po sinimulan na i-formulate yung zoning? Kasi ang sabi niyo parang naisipan lang siya na
I don't think that's the right statement. You know, there is a standard protocol that have been implemented since day one. And because of the non-cooperation of the hog raisers, the hog traders, the swill feeders, ito na. We have to proactively elevate the game. So yun po, you cannot now consider one province kung hindi pa nandyan yung infected provinces. So now, for 2 provinces, infected zones, controlled movements na kayo ng tawag doon. So you have to elevate as you are able to have more infections in one province. Pag yung 1710 ay na-observe lang, maganda, at walang mga mga pasuway, madali yun isugpuhin. So yun, the zoning started being discussed a month ago. Now it's almost, itong various zones have been identified. So Visayas and Mindanao and Mimaropa are now the free zones, so that talagang yung mga hogs wala nang galing sa Bulacan and Pampanga. Yun ang ibig sabihin.
Thank you. Last two, Carl and then Mao. Carl and Mads.
Sir, in terms of monitoring the hog raisers po, I understand that yung pinaka-force multiplier po ng DA is yung LGU at the barangay level. So how do we deal po with barangays that don't report or tolerate swim feeding naman po? I mean, will you be asking LGU to create an ordinance that could actually force them to monitor and report? Kasi we've been...
That's a good question. Alam mo, ang quarantine, the responsibility is in a partnership arrangement always. Seaports, airports, at the national level, that's the responsibility of the Department of Agriculture, BAI, and NMIS. Once nandun na sa local government, ito na yung lead responsibility ng LGUs. Pero nandyan pa rin ang DA, BAI, and NMIS helping them. Pero sila ang lead sa quarantine at their respective LGU units. Yun po, that's why nung nag-food security summit kami, in-emphasize na namin na kayo ang nandun sa mayroon lead responsibility.
Sir, paano kasi may mga reports na yun nga, yung mga barangay captains daw hindi nagre-report na may mga hog raisers pala, and wala kasi, sir, ordinance that could actually force them kasi wala namang penalty, sir, if they won't report eh. So paano yun, sir?
I think the provincial governors have now elevated also their quarantine measures, and they're actually looking at their own one province, one system approach, na ang municipal mayors are given responsibility. Lahat po yan, hanggang barangay, na sila yung magko-coordinate within na mayroon ng mga guidelines na in-issue ng BAI and NMIS and DA.
Last question.
So, just regarding the compensation to backyard hog raisers, how much were already dispersed to assist those affected backyard raisers?
Madam, at the moment, ang LGU po muna ang nagbibigay ng initial cash assistance sa mga affected backyard raisers. Ang Department of Agriculture po ay nag-iigay po ng budget release po lang po sa dito.
So the 1 billion allocation has not been released yet?
Nung nakaraan pong linggo, nagkaroon po ng meeting po ang National Task Force po natin at nag-commit po yung DBM to immediately release the part of the 1 billion budget.
Last question.
Mike Buyawi from DZXL. Kay Kalihindar, sir, can you kindly update us on the dialogue with Quezon City Government, Mayor Joel Gomonte, dahil parang nagkukulang na ata yung kanilang nirelease na fund to assist those mga hog raisers na affected sa Quezon City, and since na mayroon po parang ayuda from Malacanang, ano po ang inaasahan ng QC for additional assistance?
Totoo po yan na mayroon po mga challenges po sa Quezon City. Isa lamang po yun. May challenge po sila sa burial site po nila. Ikalawa po may challenge po sila sa pondo po nila na pang-bayad po nila. At the moment po, nagkakaroon po kami ng continuous communication. Yung po kasing figure na binibigay sa kanila ng mga local leaders po nila ay na-discover nila, kailangan nila i-validate. Kasi halimbawa po, sinabi, ganito karami, pagpunta nila doon ay sobra pala, so yung kanyang budget allocation ay nagkukulang. At sabi naman po sa akin nung taga Quezon City na kausap ko po ay pwede naman po silang gumawa ng paraan. At sabi ko naman po sa kanila, on the part of DA, kasundin po namin yung support na pwede pong magkaling through the DBM upang sa gayon ay hindi naman malugi yung ating mga affected farmers. Pati po ang DSWD, meron din po silang sinabi na cash assistance na pwede po i-extend po dito sa mga affected raisers.
Okay. Maraming salamat po. And April, Jasmine, sorry.
Magandang umaga po. Sa ibang topic naman po ito, gusto lang sana namin kunin yung yung latest tungkol dun sa aksidente sa Apayao. May mga naghahanap daw po, ang reklamo po ng ilang mga victims doon, masyado daw ng pinapahirapan. Ang mga naging victims ng aksidente. Like madami pa pong hinahanap like mga IDs, mahabang proseso. Ano pong reaction doon ng
Ayon po dun sa regional director namin, Narciso Edilio, yung pong mga biktima ibinigyan lang po namin initially ng 15,000 pesos cash and then isang kabano yun ng mga namatay. Yung injured po, ganoon din, 15,000 pesos, yan po initial lamang. So, tinutulungan naman po. In fact, nung nakausap namin si Director Edilio ng isang araw, kinaumagahan noong November 1st mismo, ay siya bumisita doon sa dalawang hospital, no? Doon mismo sa Tuguegarao muna, kung saan karamihan doon na dinala, and then doon sa corner. So, again, documentation na naman po yun ang palagi ko problema. Pero, again, yung ayuda po ay darating para sa kanila, yung tulong.
Yung nasabi ni Noel, yun lang galing DA. The municipal government, the provincial governments, DSWD will also help. So yun po, we provided all those necessary assistance and wala naman masabi ang mga apektado. Of course, this is unfortunate development. No one would like this to happen.
China.
Sir, reaction lang po kasi there are some complaints na aksidente sila after they got the cash aid and the assistance. So may plan po ba ang DA na imbes na yung mga farmers na lang yung pupunta to get the aid, DA na po yung mga pupunta sa farmers para maiwasan yung ganitong accident?
You know, as I've said, unfortunate ito. That has been our way of giving, ipunin para mas mabilis. Now we will strategize what's the better option.
Thank you. What?
Ay, sorry, kay Yusek Eric Domingo. Okay po. Yusek, kasi napakaraming ospital po sa Mindanao ngayon ang apektado po ng earthquake. And isa lang po yung makilala medical specialist na hospital dun sa mga nasira. Ang ina-appeal po nila ngayon, sana may makapag-donate daw po sa kanila ng mga medical supply pa at saka pampagawa ng ospital. Ano po yung ginagawa ngayon ng DOH at ano po yung gagawin in the future to help these health facilities?
For now, yung immediate concern kasi natin yung patients na naka-admit, no? So we do have a few health facilities that are completely damaged na hindi magamit. So we have, I think, 12 medical teams coming from surrounding regions going to the affected areas to assist the patients. And of course, nire-relocate natin yung mga pasyente. Pati yung, hindi lang yung mga naka-admit ngayon, kundi yung mga ongoing care katulad ng mga dialysis patients. Hinahanapan natin ng centers na malapit kung saan they can go on continuing with their treatment. Yung rehabilitation, that will come later after mag-stabilize lahat. Yung health facilities enhancement program naman natin, usually we support the rebuilding of pero mga public, mga public institutions, public hospitals natin.
Yusek, kasi may mga nag-message din po, yung iba daw po kasi pasyente bukod sa buntis, cancer patients. So, paano po kasi sobrang immediate po yung pangailangan sa kanila, and even the nearby provinces po, devastated din po yung hospitals po nila.
No, we really have to find yung nearest na pinakamalapit sa kanila, no? Lalo na kung saan may kamag-anak sila. Talagang problem siya, no? Kamukha, we have about 200 dialysis patients in the area. Kausap po yung mga taga-NKTI kanina. So, dinidistribute talaga namin sila sa pinakamalapit. Kung hindi kasi safe talaga yung hospital, hindi natin pwedeng buksan.
Sir, last na lang.
Sige, last.
Ang provincial government po kasi ng Cavite ay nag-lift na nung banday pinatupad nila. Happy po ba kayo nung secretary sa ginawa ni Governor Remulla?
Well, let me, para klaro, we will always elevate and continue to enhance our quarantine measures. Yung mas lalo yung transport of hogs and meat products. Kasi yun ang mas delikado doon sa pag-spread ng virus. Early days, we also had the same position with Department of Health, FDA particularly, in terms of canned processed pork products na in the name of trade that has to move around, no? Kasi dumaan na sa proseso itong canned processed pork products na 30 minutes minimum cooking and at 70 degrees centigrade. So that has been our position kasi para lahat ng mga probinsya dito sa bayan natin ay mayroon silang enough supply of this. Of course, again, we would like to believe na the same position as we have discussed last Friday, Wednesday, na ganun nga, let's not impede the trade and hoping that the processors are also one with us, hindi lang yung i-criticize kami, hindi sila yung gusto nila mangyari. It is a balancing act also. We really have to contain this virus so that hindi maapektuhan yung 260 billion hog industry.
Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Thank you.
Ano palalapitan? Ano palalapitan? O lalapit na lalapit pa. Ano naman para pag-care? Tapos lalapit na po.
Yes.